Good evening. It is it's 5:05 p.m. We wish it were 7. It's 5:05 p.m. and we are opening this Tuesday, July 16th, 2024, and we are opening this Oakhurst Geological Hazard and Abatement District, GAD, regular meeting agenda. And with that, could you call the meeting to order, please?
Thank you. Director Diaz?
Yes.
Tillman?
Present.
Trupiano?
Yes.
Juan?
Here.
Chair Cloven?
I'm here as well. Thank you for the roll call. And with that, we will open this meeting to public comment related to non-agenda items. I do not see any hands here in our audience. Are there anybody participating online that has a hand up?
There are no members of the public joining us online.
And with that, item number 2, public comment related to non-agenda items is closed, and we will move on to item number 3, which is our public hearing. And I will turn this over to you, Mr. Please. I'm not on Zoom.
Good evening, board. As per the typical annual process, the board needs to convene a public hearing and take public comment. I ask that tonight the board take any public comment at this time, which is what was the published agenda time for 5 o'clock. However, the mailing notices that went to the GAD property owners stated 7 o'clock. So I would recommend that you suspend or continue the public hearing until 7 o'clock to then allow anyone who joins at 7 o'clock to make comments regarding the GAD, and then close the public hearing and then make your decision on setting the annual rates. Overall, this is a pretty typical process. We've discussed the GAD quite a bit. This is the increase of GAD rates based off the CPI, which is around 3.8%. This is not anything beyond that, which would require a ballot vote of the property owners. The annual revenue expected to come to the GAD for next fiscal year, or this upcoming fiscal year, is around $50,000. So last year is around $49,000. So it's a slight increase. Those funds are already been allocated, and it's included in the budget as part of the report that's attached to the staff report tonight. As a heads up, we are looking at utilizing our consultant to go for a ballot measure for an increase beyond this CPI increase, and that's a separate item, but this is the typical annual review. And the notices were mailed, a one-page notice about tonight's public hearing. As I stated, it was said 7 p.m., so that will be something that, if there are further comments, that might be the time that it comes. So I'll keep it simple. Is there any questions from the board? Otherwise, I would open it for public hearing and then continue the item until 7 o'clock.
Seeing no questions from my fellow members, I will open this up to public comment. I see none in the room. Are there any online by any chance?
There are no members of the public joining us online.
Excellent. With that, we will close public comment for the time being and reopen it again at the City Council meeting at 7 o'clock for additional public comment on this item. Excellent. And with that, is there any questions from council of our city engineer on this item? Seeing none, I think we'll hold off any further decisions on this until after we've heard additional public comment at our city council meeting at 7 o'clock, and we will have a discussion further then. And we will close this item. And I believe that closes this item temporarily, 3A, and we'll move on to closed item number 4, which is adjournment, and it is now 5:09, and no?
Yep. Pardon, we need to recess until 7 p.m. and then reconvene at 7 p.m.
We were not adjourning, we were recessing until 7 o'clock meeting. That's the actual term.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that is all for now.
Recording stopped.
Calling the city council meeting for Tuesday, July 16th to order. And
Recording in
would
progress.
the city clerk please take the roll?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Cloven,
I am here.
Tillman. Here. Juan.
Here.
Vice Mayor Triviano. Here. Mayor Diaz.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. And we'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Mr. City Manager, would you like to give us a little brief before we go into the closed session?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor. We are asking the council to move up closed session in front of the interviews for the Planning Commission for just a brief 10-minute discussion in closed session. Then we would invite the public back in to join us for the Planning Commission interviews, and then we will follow the Planning Commission interviews with a regular meeting, City Council meeting. So if it pleases the mayor and the rest of the council members, we would ask that you move closed session up and that we adjourn into closed session for roughly 10 minutes and go from there.
Thank you very much. So we will go into closed session now at 6:01 and we'll return in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
All right, I'm going to call the City Council meeting and the interviews for the Planning Commission back to order as we have exited closed session. And we gave direction to the staff, and that's basically as it relates to our selection process, our interviewing process for the next city manager, and that'll be that. Okay, we'll now go into the Planning Commission interviews, and we have 5 candidates, and we will move forward with that. And let me get to the order of okay, the order of interviews will be first with Richard Ania, then we'll have Dan Richardson, Maria Schulman, then we will have Natalie Archangel Patijo, and then we will have Nate Brosnovich at 7. Okay, we will begin that, and we'll first start off and have Richard Ania come forward. And since you're a sitting city planning commissioner, I'm going to ask those members just to answer one question. Why do you want to be reappointed to the city planning commission? Turn on your microphone.
Because I like it. I enjoy being on the Planning Commission 2 years. I've been the chair this year. Everything is running smoothly. People are getting the answers that they need, and want to finish our state
Recording in progress.
housing, the housing authorities element, the housing element. We're just about there. I think this will be our 3rd time submitting it, and we've complied with everything the first 2 times. In fact, it was just a different group of people that read it the first time, and then a different group that read it the second time, and so now we'll go to the 3rd. But I enjoy doing that. I enjoy answering questions of the people that come up. I've lived in the community a long time, and that's why I really enjoy it, even though we haven't had a lot of meetings, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, people get things approved, but they don't start right away. So it takes time for projects to be started. And it's nice, in a way, it's nice to see that it happens here too, because I just received a call a couple weeks ago from one of the council members in Crescent City. I left the council 9 years ago. And finally, 2 housing projects that we approved 9 years ago are starting. 30 homes and then 47 low-cost apartments, finally starting. And it's developers and putting the money together and things like that. And I want to see it start here. We're getting really close to some new projects. And that's why I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Anybody on the council wish to ask any questions further?
Nope, thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Okay, next up is Dan Richardson. Again, the question of the hour. Why do you want to be reappointed to the Planning Commission?
It's for the money. It's the cash, isn't it? Wads of cash? No? No, okay. You know, this is my 6th time being up here, and I have enjoyed all 5 previous times asking questions, and I appreciate only one question. Love the community, got involved in the community over 20 years ago in a lot of ways. My parents raised us to be volunteers, to be engaged in what's going on, and I've been engaged for a lot of the things that we've done. But thinking about it for a moment, I guess that quite honestly, it's for a couple of reasons. The first one is I think we have a good team here on the Planning Commission right now. We have some young members that have their head and their hearts in the right spot, in my opinion. And I think I can offer some experience and maybe some perspective to them. I think they have their own mind in the things that they're doing, and I think I can do that. I think the other thing that I might say more philosophically is, because I really thought about this, when you come up for an interview, usually I get 7 or 8 questions, and then you get the bully pulpit for answer this. What do you see as the future of Clayton? And I was all prepared for that. I was going to have, what do I see in the future? But I think one of the real reasons why I like to continue is that as we get older and new people come with new ideas and new things come around like that, we begin to feel our influence wanes, that we're not able to bring perspective. We're not able to do things again. Young people have new ideas, and a lot of times they really don't want to. And I'm 73, so young as anything, right? So a lot of them say, I don't want to hear that. Who cares how it was and stuff. So you find that, you're not able to bring as much to the plate as you did before. And I think the Planning Commission provides me an opportunity to stay engaged with the community in a higher level than volunteering for events and things like that. It gives me an opportunity to bring balance, I think, because I've always in my career prided myself on being Switzerland. And I think nowadays in Clayton, some people say to me, why do you want to be Switzerland? And I said, because it allows me to bring influence to both sides, or attempt to influence both sides. So again, I use that word influence. And I think it helps me as Clayton navigates what we're going through now. There's a lot of interesting things we're going through now. We may be a small town, but we have the same big problems as all the big towns do. Money, housing, people, staffing, all that typical stuff that you have, turnover, keeping good people in here and stuff. So in a way, it keeps me connected with you, each of you, and with city staff and some other things like that. And so that's a very selfish reason, I guess you could say. But that and being able to provide some mentoring and stuff for the young planning commissioners that we have is my real reason.
Thank you. Any of the city council members wish to ask any further questions of Dan?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Maria Schulman. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello.
And again, the question, why
Why?
do you wish to be reappointed to the City Planning Commission?
Because I absolutely enjoy being part of the decisions being made within the city and the changes that are developing. I have been the vice chair the last year, and it's been such a pleasure to be a part of things like Roadside 22 that was approved and opened up, and it's been an asset to the community. I just love being part, and as Dan mentioned, or Rich mentioned, the housing element and going forward with that and seeing where that finally pans out. And I know there was a letter written because so much of what has come back to us is the result of different reviewers. So they're trying to set up a standardized method of reviewing them so that we don't keep getting different things back from different people, so things can finally get passed. And with the changes in housing, it'll be interesting to see how things pan out and develop, and I like being part of that. I think Clayton is a wonderful place to live and to work and to be. I mean, I enjoy it, and I like volunteering for things, and I've learned a lot being on the Planning Commission. I mean, I have Dan, I have Rich, and they've taught me a lot. And I've also done the government stuff with learning with the Planning Commission and going to the Planning Commission meetings for the county Planning Commissions, and they have a wealth of knowledge that I've learned. And I'm hoping to bring some of that here. I've shared those ideas, and working with Dana when she was here, I shared some of those with her, and she was open to a lot of those as well.
Thank you very much, Maria, for your reapplying for the position. Any of our council members wish to ask Maria any further questions? Maria, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have two new applicants to the City Planning Commission. Natalie Archangel Montejo. Please give us a little background on yourself first, and then we have a series of questions that I'm going to have each one of the city council members ask of you, but you're on.
So I'll be getting more than one question.
It's going to be, no, only because they had been already on the commission. We
No,
did
no,
that.
I
All right,
understand,
but
of
we have
course.
at least 5 questions for you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, esteemed council members and staff. Appreciate the opportunity. So I am Natalie Archangel Montijo, and my family and I moved here in 2008. We were drawn by the stunning natural beauty of Clayton and the exceptional quality of life that it offers. My husband, a psychologist, retired 2 years ago from a long career at Kaiser Antioch. And I'm an adult geriatric nurse practitioner. I also hold a master's in acupuncture and Chinese medicine, which informs my worldview. I'm able to look at problems, at situations in a rather holistic manner, because that's, comes with the territory of the learning. I work for Kaiser as well. I work for Kaiser in the role of Regional Director of Resource Stewardship, which I realize sounds like a cross between a land trust and George Orwell, but it's something a little bit more interesting than that. We get to deal with the issues around patient care and throughput for 21 medical centers. So in my work, I work collaboratively. I do a lot of problem solving. I bring disparate groups of people together. We work on all manner of things. It's never quite the same thing twice. It's a fascinating place to work and way to work. So we've been here since 2008, as I mentioned, and we raised 3 daughters here. So we've done very, very well through the system here in Clayton. One is a nurse, the other is starting medical school next week. I had to work that in there. And the third is studying for the LSAT. So, medical professionals and lawyers, it should all work out well. We love to walk. I ride my bike daily and never lose sight and gratefulness for living at the foot of that magnificent mountain. I've grown very fond of this community, and most of my participation has been around my creative side. I'm an actor, and you will see me often in Clayton Theater productions. I'm also a musician and have the good fortune to play at the Art and Wine Festival. We've also played a lot locally. So I also write the health column for The Pioneer under the byline New Wave Nightingale. So I feel ready to immerse myself more fully and believe I have both the skills and the temperament to serve on the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have some questions for you, and I'm going to ask Councilmember Cloven to begin with those questions.
Well, I kind of think you answered question number 1. How has your background in education and or your work experience prepared you to serve on the Planning Commission?
Thank you, Council Member. I mean, as I did mention, my background is interesting. It's a little also atypical for a health professional because I have done many things. But the journey that I've taken in my career and in life has kind of brought me to an interesting place. I value curiosity. I value listening. I'm known for my calm demeanor. I'm not reactive. I believe in seeing all sides of the issue, and I believe everyone has a voice and should be heard. So I think that these qualities, as well as I said, a lot of curiosity. I haven't done planning commission work as yet, but I am also the sort of person who immerses herself fully in what she takes on.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Tupiano is going to ask you a question, and then Councilmember Tillman.
And Natalie, I have seen you in some productions at the as soon as you came up to the podium, I know that voice. What do you see is the role of a planning commissioner?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I think that the role of a planning commissioner is to represent the interests of the citizenry as we look at all sorts of varied issues that apply to our small yet mighty town. As I have been perusing the general plan with great interest, I realize that there are 10,000 moving parts, you know, and a planning commissioner would be involved in the decisions being made, hearing the points of view of others, making decisions, or at least advising the council on decisions regarding all manner of things. I heard our esteemed commissioners talking about the housing element, and I know that will be a big, that will continue to be a rather large element, but also community design, land use, noise, community facilities, basically growth, of course, all of the things that affect the town. I think the planning commissioner needs to be at ground zero, listening, understanding, asking the right questions, and advising.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie.
Oh. Now, Councilmember Tillman's got a question for you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome in. Planning commissioners at times address issues that may have differing opinions throughout the community and commission. Knowing the definition of a planning commissioner you just stated, how would you approach these differing views and how would they impact your decision-making as a planning commissioner?
Thank you, council member. So, again, as part of the work I do every day, I do a lot of listening. I do a lot of listening to different perspectives. And I learned a long time ago that what everyone has to say is important, and to listen with an open mind and to be curious. So I believe the role of the planning commissioner would be to take in the information, you know, and to validate it as well, to understand that everybody will have an opinion. Some people will have, you know, very forceful opinions. Others may speak in a quieter tone or may just have, you know, less of an opinion. But to take it all in, validate against data, and to come up with recommendations that make sense, that are in the best interest, as the Planning Commission understands it to be, of our city, of our citizenry.
Councilmember Juan now will ask a question for you.
So what are some major issues that you believe could come in front of the Planning Commission in the next 2 years?
Certainly the housing element. I can see that that will certainly be something that will continue to be an issue. Again, as I peruse the general plan, you know, there are so many things that I saw that were very, very relevant. I mean, the repaving of the roads, you know, the street lights, the land use, what we're going to do with some of the spaces that are open, what sort of business and growth we're promoting. I understand that we have had some again, our esteemed council members brought up Roadside 22, and what a wonderful addition to the community. What other additions to the community are in the offing? What's good for the community? What are our ethical obligations? What do we need to do around, you know, providing for people who need housing? So I think it'll be a panoply.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to sum up, you have any questions for us?
So what is the expectation of a really positive first year as a planning commissioner in the eyes of the mayor and council?
Well, from my perspective, and I'll let my other colleagues chime in, one thing is to really immerse yourself into the rules and the legislation that governs what a planning commissioner does with land use and with all the other things that come before that body. And I suggest that if you're selected, that you first get in there and dig into those rules and regulations and those kinds of things, so you have a better understanding of how to execute the job.
And as a former planning commissioner, it's interesting how you described your vision of what a planning commissioner is. I love your passion, I love your zest, and I love your curiosity. It's awesome. My experience with planning commission is, as the mayor said, really understanding what is written and looking at things that come before you as they pertain to what is written. You're literally calling balls and strikes. It's really about calling balls and strikes. Does it fit in or fit out of the parameters of what's in front of you? You do get some chances to make some decisions based on your own intuition, but it's balls and strikes more than actually anything else. And that's kind of something that's my interpretation. Learning what the balls and strikes actually are.
Right, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank you
Well,
so much.
Thank you very much for applying, and we will be discussing all the candidates at the end of this session. Okay, next we have Nate Brazovich. Now, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Oh, he's not here? Nate, going once. Going to, wait.
What time was he due?
He's not due till 7, so we, so.
Maybe if Nate shows up right at 7, we would.
All right, well, then here's what we'll do. We'll give him a chance to show up, and in the meantime, we'll take a short intermission until, well, it's now 6:35, so let's go for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and hopefully by then, Mr. Brazovich will show up. Thank you. So we'll take a quick intermission. Pardon me? Oh, did he just come in? I retract that.
Sorry, everyone, I didn't know.
That's, no, we got advanced to the time that was well before you were you were scheduled to come in. So how about giving us a little bit overview about,
Give him a second to breathe.
That's okay. You guys look like an efficient bunch, so I don't want to, break the mold here.
hey, we don't want to waste any time here. We want to get through all this.
I hear you.
We got a full agenda tonight. Okay, go ahead. Take a breath.
Yeah, my name is Nate Brazovich. I've been a resident of Clayton for nearly 10 years. I live with my wife, Janessa, my 2 daughters, and our dog, Seeger. Love the community, chosen, specifically to raise our family here. And, my heart and my interest rests in trying to contribute and give back in the way that I've been able to experience all the wonderful things that the city's had to offer. So hopefully it's a little bit about me, and look forward to the questions for this evening.
Great. Okay, and each one of the council members has a question to ask of you, and I'll start with Councilmember Cloven, and then we'll move through the city council, and then ask for any questions you may have of us at the end of that
Thank you.
period.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nate. It's quite a resume you put in front of us, and now I'm kind of curious, how has that background in education and your work experience prepared you to serve on the Planning Commission?
That's a great question. The one thing I'll acknowledge right now is that I've spent my entire adult working life working in healthcare. But what I would say within that time span is I've been exposed to, a myriad of spectrums of different stakeholders' beliefs and standpoints. And so within that, it's really given me an opportunity to, it's very difficult, especially my wife will say so, to listen twice as much as I talk. So there's that one angle of it, that one aspect. The other thing is it's made me try to formulate my words more succinctly and be really thoughtful about what I'm saying. And so I guess I'm bringing this together in a way to say that all the candidates here have, a track record of being successful, whether in their careers or previously serving. And, amongst all my peers who are looking to be considered for this position, whether that be people looking to, seek another board seat, someone new like myself for the first time, I think my experience within working in the healthcare industry brings a fresh, fiscally sound, and innovative perspective that I would welcome the opportunity and really be cherish it to have the chance to serve on this board.
Vice Mayor Trupriano.
Hello, Nate.
Hi.
Nate is my neighbor, and I know Seeger.
Yeah, sure, Joe.
On our walks. So what do you see is the role of a planning commissioner? Can you explain that to us?
Yeah.
this evening?
I think really simply put, if I were to put it down in a one sentence, and I've always been told in my job that, you need to explain it in a way that your grandma would understand. And so for me, and I actually wrote this down because I was thinking about it, a city planning commissioner shapes the community's future by guiding sustainable growth and development.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Tillman.
Welcome in, Nate. Planning commissioners at times address issues that, that doesn't work because I need my microphone on. Let me start over. Hi, Nate.
Hi, how are you?
Planning commissioners at times address issues that may have differing opinions throughout the community and commission. Knowing the definition of a planning commissioner you just stated, how would you approach these differing views and how would they impact your decision-making as a planning commissioner?
Yeah. I think civil discourse is the bedrock of this country, and what I mean by that is being open to listening to someone's opinion, even if it doesn't necessarily align with yours. I think so long as your words are articulate and respectful, that should always have an opportunity that presents itself to engage in that level of discussion. I think a good leader is humble enough to be open to differing points of views, but I think a wise leader is one that's actually open to changing their firmly held beliefs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Juan.
What are some of the major issues you believe could come in front of the Planning Commission in the next 2 years?
Sure. And I say this question being obviously, someone looking to, learn and grow, but again, in what I've done in educating myself on this role, as well as some of the issues that are currently facing us at a local level, it's 4 buckets for me. The first is housing and development. Amongst my friends, family members, neighbors, this is something that comes up as a topic of discussion and approaching that thoughtfully and sustainably. I think you always have to take the environment and concerns with that into the picture as well. But the distinguishing element that I add to that is just as much as you would seek outside expert advice, you would also seek the advice of the people that are potentially affected in their industry because of the decisions made around those environment procurement measures. Land use and zoning is another topic, and then I think just the big one is living in California. We are, experiencing, various things related to fire and earthquakes, and so, mitigating those hazards to ensure that we're being proactive rather than reactive when those things happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you got any questions for us?
I would say, just as someone who's coming out as an outsider and looking to, make an entry into something new and, give back to the community, what do you think would be the steepest learning curve or, the hardest thing to, initially tackle and, be able to feel like you have your feet on the ground and you're running at least a little bit before?
Thank you. Anything final? Go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, I would, just speaking for myself, I think understanding both the pace and operation of local government is probably unfamiliar to those who haven't been steeped in it. So there's a learning curve there.
Yeah.
That's
it's funny you mentioned that comment because in my current role, my audience is public sector. And so as much as you want to be, gung-ho and, push the process along, inevitable, there's going to be that, procurement, that long drawn out, and so it is a patient game. So thank you for bringing that up and appreciate the guidance.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming out, and I apologize if it appered that I was trying to rush you.
Not at all. I figured you guys were just an efficient panelist.
I realized that we had a schedule that was published, and we were just trying to make sure everybody got their opportunity to speak before the council.
Well, thank you for giving me an opportunity. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you very much. Okay, we've had 5 people applying for the 3 opportunities to serve on the Planning Commission. And now comes the challenge for the City Council to make their selection known and how we want to proceed. And now, are you going to add something, Mr. City Manager? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. You'll actually do the discussion about who you're going to select in open session during It'll be
During the regular
agendized
city council meeting.
As an action item.
So, in other words, adjourn and then come back at 7.
Correct. But not adjourn, but take a break. We'll take a break.
Okay, then I'm going to call this meeting adjourned until,
Not adjourn. Recess.
wait a minute, that's a school term. Anyway, I'm recessing the
we're gonna
meeting.
take a break.
6:43, thank you.
Recording stopped.
Daniel Rubens, nice to meet you. And you? Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for having us tonight. I am not. I am not. One more familiar here. I'm on the Wall Creek Public Board. Technically, Wall Creek but yes, I started in this role. I looked at her. 6 months next week. I've come out here a bunch of times already. We were. That's true. Yeah, we were at the 4th of July parade last week. That was really great. Yeah, it's been a great experience. I'm very much enjoying where I'm at so far. So. You know, whenever you were in your shot, I'd say the same thing. So. Okay, gotcha. Probably no. Yeah, that was 2020, so. No, actually, during the summer. We did have one in 2020 with John Baptist. Yeah, of course. Okay, so you were kind of right. Well, that was like right at the end of when we were doing all of our work for them because we were. I worked for. Yeah. For the election. Well, and I worked in elections, so we did a lot of work with public agencies and information capacities. So it's like right as the window, right as the election window actually opens, when we sort of stop. It's a small world. Thank you very much.
Recording in
Calling
progress.
the July 16th meeting of the City Council back to order, and I'm passing the gavel to GHAD Chairman Peter Cloven.
Greetings. We opened the GAD meeting at 5 o'clock, and we had some public comment for those who were here and heard our city engineer speak about tonight's action item, our public hearing. And then we adjourned it or put it on recess until right now, so the public who was here gets a chance to provide public comment on the GAD item. So I'm going to reopen public comment now for anybody who is in this room or who is online who would like to speak on this item. And I've not seen any raised hands in this room.
Point of order, it's actually opening the public hearing. So just for clarity.
This is item number 3A of the GAD agenda. It is the public hearing. This is the public comment on that. Not seeing in this room. Is there any online?
There are no speakers to this item online.
And with that, the public comment in this public hearing is closed, and I will turn the gavel back, adjourn the meeting, and turn the gavel back. I know.
You need to adopt
We
a
have
resolution.
Close the public hearing and then adopt the resolution.
There it is. We are closing the public hearing, bringing it back to the City Council for discussion and the possibility of adopting the resolution. Is there any discussion?
I see.
All right. Then I would
move approval
Sorry.
of the resolution per the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Excellent. We have a first by Councilor One and second by, yes, Mr. Viano. Could you please call the roll? Yeah, Chair Member Viano, could you please call the roll?
Thank you, yes. And on that motion to adopt the resolution ordering improvements and confirming real property assessments for fiscal year 2024 through 2025 for the Oakhurst Geological Hazard Abatement District, moved by Director Juan, seconded by Director Trupiano. I'll take the vote now. Director Diaz,
Yes.
Tillman,
Aye.
Trupiano,
Aye.
Juan,
Aye.
Chair Cloven.
Aye.
Thank you. You have 5 ayes.
Thank you. With that, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Good job. Okay, we're now back into the City Council meeting for July 16, and let's see. We're going to open now for public comment for non-agended items. Anybody here in the Hoyer Hall that wishes to speak and address the City Council? I know I have one card, and that is for item 5, and that's Larry McNeil. Larry.
Item 5.
Yeah, public comment, non-agenda items.
Are we ready? I was waiting for that 3 minute. Because lastly I want to do. Anyway, that's fine. We'll go on. Good evening, everybody, and welcome for everybody that's in here tonight. You know, this shows that we all value the democratic process in our country. And I really, really appreciate that. Having gone through the civics test with my partner for the last couple of months in a row, I learned a lot about our country for those 100 questions. But tonight I want to speak about Clayton Pride. We had another very, very successful event produced by some of Clayton's finest residents and other super caring individuals. It was just a magnificent, fun day. We had, and I would really like if everybody in City Council, I'm up here, I'm not in your computer screen. Hello? Jeff? I'm up here, not on your computer screen. I'd really appreciate it if you would show some respect tonight, please.
Pardon me, will the speaker please continue? Your time is still lapsing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We had many elected officials attend our Clayton Pride Day. DeSaulnier, Pleasant Hill, Contra Costa County, Brentwood, Concord. Everybody had a great day, except we were missing 3 people from City Council. Jeff was not there. Jim Diaz, Kim, you were not there.
Pardon me, Speaker, can you please direct your comments to the full council?
I did. That's what I'm doing.
You cannot name
You're
them
not to
individually.
call out names of people, that's the
Okay.
protocol. But go ahead,
My
continue.
apologies, sorry. There was 3 prominent City Council members not in attendance. For whatever reasons, I think they're excuses, but I'm pretty sure now, I think, because it's 3 years in a row. Really? On a Sunday morning at 10 a.m., really? They can't find the time to attend? As I drive into Clayton, there's a sign that says inclusion, do the right thing. Those 3 council members, I don't believe in that philosophy. This is something that everybody should adhere to, and I'm a little disappointed in 3 of our city council members. Thank you. I am now thinking that my partner and I, we went to Gay Pride Day in San Francisco. What a wonderful day that was. And AAA had a huge presence at that event. It's too bad that all their employees don't adhere to that philosophy, especially those at a senior level. I just wish we could do something about it and make it more inclusive for everybody. The 3 council members need to attend Clayton Pride. I highly suspect you won't even be there next year, which means it's calling me, I think we have 3 homophobic council members in our city council. Thank you.
Is this on? Thank you. Right. First, I want to say hello to the council with everything going on in our State of the Union and the recent events. I want to let you all, each and every member of the council, know that I appreciate the efforts that you do for our community. It truly is a volunteer job. I think I've calculated you earn about $5 to $6 per hour because you're spending probably between 100 and 120 hours a month in your work. So again, I want to thank everyone here for your work dedicated to the community. The reason I'm here speaking to you is that working with Holly Tillman and others in the community, we're trying to raise fire awareness issues in our city. As we are an at-risk fire community, I think, when recent events occur, I think it's important to point it out to the folks. So I'm doing that on social media and then, of course, coming to these council meetings. So one of the recent things that I saw out there is that California fire officials are writing new rules that will bar most plants, mulch, and other combustible materials within 5 feet of homes in fire-prone areas, perhaps like the city of Clayton, where embers could rain from surrounding mountains and hillsides during a fire. South Lake Tahoe will begin enforcing residential defensible space restrictions in their city this month. Research has shown in a series of fire simulations that a home with attached wood fences and plantings within a 5-foot space of the home always ignites and burns to the ground, while the house surrounded by gravel is always untouched. So what I'm asking you today is I don't know if we need to do a full-on action like South Lake Tahoe, but I do think is, we had planning commission interviews today, is that perhaps when we have new home developments here, that we do consider enacting a fire defensible space that's 5 feet around the house and not having the wood fence connected to the home. I think that would set a good tone and educational level to our citizens. We can wait to see what the state is going to do in the next probably 1 or 2 years if they're going to promote this state-centric policy to the cities. Now, the concern always is who's going to enforce it, so this could be another state unfunded mandate coming our way. So again, I'm just going to ask you to do the bare minimum to raise awareness and to consider that for just new home developments. There's not much that's going on in Clayton, but I do think by putting it out there, it does raise the awareness to folks without being an onerous regulation to our existing residential homeowners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Killern. Anyone else in Hoyer Hall that wishes to address the City Council on non-agenda items? Yes.
That's good. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Gary Hood, 40-year resident of Clayton. You can wipe the smirk off your face anytime, Mr. Cloven. I'm here tonight to talk about a special, exciting announcement. Several months ago, Mr. Walcott mentioned to you that we'd be starting a political action committee. Well, it's official. We've sent in the paperwork to the city clerk, and we sent it into the Secretary of State. So just to let you know tonight that Clayton Watch is now an official PAC. It's claytonwatch.org if you'd like to go to the website. Some of you are going to ask, why a PAC? Why a political action committee in this town? I've lived here for 40 years. I've never seen it so divisive. It's not the Clayton that I moved to. It's not the Clayton that I'd like to continue to live in unless it's corrected. The agendas that have been brought to our town are unacceptable. I think the citizens need a better way to gain information from City Hall, from the City Council, truthful information. We do have a local paper that's very divisive. The vitriol that she's published has shamed our town beyond belief. So the Clayton Watch Group will actually be publishing information on the site for all citizens to see, all correspondence, communications, FOIA requests, all signed letters that have come from the committee. Last week, we had the privilege to be interviewed by the owner of the Gazette. We'll have a full story coming out in the Gazette shortly, and we're hoping all the citizens can read that. I think that it's time that Clayton go back to being Clayton. The petty politics that's gone on, and I think the council knows who caused that petty politics, has got to go away. We've got to get back to being our town. It's time that we come together as a community, and I'm hoping that all of you can visit the site and see the valuable information that is there. It's claytonwatch.org, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hood. Anybody else in Hoyer Hall? Yes, please.
It's nice to see you fix the microphone. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I have actually 3 items tonight if I have time to talk about. The first one is to kind of echo on what Gary just said about the Political Action Committee. I announced in February we're going to form this Political Action Committee, and our goal was always to have it up and running before the election, and we were able to accomplish that. We want to make sure that we can put out information on the candidates that we already know are running. Some of them are incumbents. There's going to be a lot of information on the website. Some of the information is going to come from them, some of it will come from us, and obviously there'll be opinions from us and the community, because the community can comment on the website. There's Apple time on there for them to communicate and talk to the citizens, but it's much more than just a website for the election. If you go onto that website, and you guys have probably already been on there, you'll see there's just a ton of information on there about the city events, about how to contact the city, how to do FOIA requests. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I would appreciate it from the council. You guys can comment on it. You can send us an email, tell us what you think. And the community can send an email and tell us what you think. And there's a contact form on there, contact information. You can feed the information back to us. So that's the first one. The second thing is, I did a post on Nextdoor on the Clayton post office, and I took a picture of all the weeds down there and called it the native weed garden, and it was very healthy, and it created a lot of outrage in the community. I eventually wrote a letter to Congressman DeSaulnier asking for his help, that we needed a permanent solution on this. We've been dealing with this for 15 years, and I myself called DeSaulnier at least 3 times to get it cleaned up, and it's always just clean up after the fact, after you let the bark, the weeds grow over the bark, you come back in, you spend all that money replacing the plants and the bark, and asking for a permanent solution. And I also contacted the mayor, Mayor Diaz, and gave him information on the property owner, because there was some question about who had the responsibility for maintaining the property, whether it was the property owner or the lessee, which is the post office. And he verified that the post office has the responsibility for maintaining the property, the facility inside and out, including the landscaping. And I know he's also been in contact with the postmaster, and I would ask that the mayor give us an update tonight after this, after the public comment period, before you wait to the end of the meeting, so you can tell the community what you've done. I know that they've pulled the weeds and they're supposed to put in new bark. I noticed the other day that they've actually cleaned up the doors and started cleaning the post office. So it's coming along. And I know you've talked to the postmaster and you have information on it. So I'd like you, after public comment, just give us a brief update if you can. Thank you. I'm out of time.
Thank you. Anyone else here in Hoyer Hall would like to address the council on non-agenda items? Here we go. We have one more.
Speaker.
How's that? Much better. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. I do appreciate it. I love Clayton, and one of the things I love about Clayton is everybody's individual. And so we each have our choice as to what we like or don't like, what we want to do or don't want to do, where we want to go even, or not go. And so my opinion, strictly mine of course, is that if the council members choose not to go to a gay parade, they don't have to. It's their choice. If they want to go, go. It's your choice. And it's the choice of every single resident in the city of Clayton to choose what they want to do. And if there's not enough support in Clayton for the parade, then it's the Gay Pride's choice to bring them in from somewhere else, which they've done. And that's up to them. But I like having a choice. That's my thing. And the balance of my 2 minutes, Bill Walcott had a third item to address. I'd like to turn that over to him if I could.
Pardon?
Is that acceptable?
Speaker, you cannot gift your time.
You can't?
You cannot, no.
Okay, very
Mr.
good.
Walcott
Well,
had
thanks
his 3
anyway.
minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane.
Sure.
Anyone else in Hoyer Hall that wishes to address the city council on non-agenda items? Oh, here we go. Here's another one.
Scott Denslow, Dana Hills. Forgive me, neighbors. I had this pre-written. I'm a bit shaken right now as Clayton resident. Gary Hood just threatened to kick my ass outside of the library before
Please
speaking.
watch your language when addressing the city council and the people at large.
I am quoting Mr. Hood. Thank you, Mayor. So, they want to promote Clayton Watch, remember these types of behaviors for Mr. Hood. There's something not right in our quaint and beloved town. I keep hearing so many people from across every political aisle talking about how they want to get Clayton back to what it used to be. I just heard that from them earlier. Back to where everybody got along and respected everybody's opinion and where everybody just shook one another's hands. We all took pride in being citizens of the same city. But just in the last several years, we've seen our neighbors put their political beliefs first and to act in atrociously unneighborly ways in doing so. Recent elections have seen neighbors call up employers of current and past council members that they oppose to see if they can get them into trouble. Anonymous letters are sent around town claiming the people from the other side of the political aisle are terrible people with nefarious intentions who want to ruin our town. Yet some of the same neighbors are currently just getting back from jail, and yet currently these same and are going back to court for the same actions that put them there in the first place. They even have their friends file false police charges again against their neighbors. They perjure themselves in court. But I'm not allowed to talk about this part yet because their proceedings are still going on. See, I'll get to find out about all of that fun stuff down the road, isn't that right, Mayor Diaz? But what really concerns me is how a few folks in Clayton, a few very loud folks, will actually go to the lengths of contacting employers, sending anonymous letters, perjuring themselves and filing false charges just to get their way politically. That was never what Clayton was. Those types of behaviors run completely counter to what we advertise on the signs coming into this town. These people are choosing to do the wrong thing instead of the right thing. There aren't many, but again, they're loud and they're abusive. And we just saw that earlier tonight. These types of behaviors might be appreciated within their tight and small circles, but I don't believe they represent the values of our town. I'm tired of bullies acting in ways like this, trying to ruin people's political ambitions, trying to silence their voices while at the same time being convicted of their own crimes, perjuring themselves, and filing false charges. This is simply not what Clayton is about. And these behaviors and these people need to be highlighted and exposed for what they are choosing to do to our town. Destructive and divisive forces are alive and well in Clayton, and if we want to get Clayton back to what we once loved, we need to feed peace, togetherness, love, harmony, and find common grounds despite our political differences. Don't let these destructive forces continue to bully their way over Clayton. Bullies are not welcome here.
Thank you. Any further people? Come forward, please. You've already, this is a new subject. Come up, Gary, or not Gary, but Bill, come on up.
He spoke to public comment already.
Mayor, I just want to be clear. If you're allowing people to re-speak, then you need to allow everyone to re-speak.
Okay. So ruled.
No, I'm asking for your, if that's your preference, so be it, but then anyone else who's already previously spoken.
I've asked for anybody else in the audience that wishes to address the City Council on non-agenda items. There is none. Do you have another comment that you want to bring up? Okay. Anybody online, Madam City Clerk?
Yes, thank you. I do have one speaker online.
All right.
Roy Correa, your microphone is available.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Here we go with a lot of vitriol here in the front end. And, you know, it's really something to hear that. You know, I was going to have one of my nephews attend this meeting or observe this meeting in terms of civics, government. And I'm glad I didn't, because here it starts again. The disparaging, derogatory comments that were being made already, it amazes. Taking that off the table, that's not what I want to say. I just got a real short comment here. Mr. Mayor, if you can please provide update status on the hiring process for a city manager. I don't attend all these meetings. I don't listen to them all. And so if you could do that, please. Where are we with that? And the second, connected to that is, there was a lot of talk about citizenry of Clayton and engagement in this process. I haven't heard any words about that, but that's why I'm speaking now. Please update, please provide status on that also. We've seen the record of hires that have been made for city manager. They were They were city managers who did not have the skill sets to perform the job, and especially the last city manager who was over his head. So, in terms of capability. So please update, please, okay, what's going on, and where are you with it? Where's citizenry engagement? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, city clerk online?
There are no other speakers to this item.
Okay, thank you very much. And we've talked with everyone here that wants to address us. I want to make a couple of quick comments. One, in relate to the city manager, that's in process. We're working on it. We'll update you when we get closer. Number two, yes, I have been working with the interim postmaster at the Postal Service, and due to a letter written to Councilmember DeSaulnier, additional money was put into his budget to do maintenance. So things are getting cleaned up over there. They're doing a lot of good work. And that interim city manager, postmaster is doing an excellent job in handling that. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to close public comment on non-agenda items. Thank you. Next item is number 6, and that's the consent calendar. Does anyone have any items they wish to pull? None. Okay. So we'll entertain a motion. Oh, go ahead. Oh, public comment on the non-agenda, or excuse me, on the consent calendar. Anybody wish to speak on that? Could we, could we have some order in the room, please? Please watch your language in the room. Will we have this gentleman escorted out? Okay.
Hey, let's do a 1-minute recess.
If we want to take a recess, Mayor, we can.
Let's take a
Otherwise-
1-minute recess.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, can you call a 1-minute recess?
Yeah, I want to move ahead, but we need to make sure there's order in the hall. And if there's not, we will have people.
Mayor, can I suggest we just take a quick recess?
All right, we're going back to the agenda.
Let's take a recess. Give him 2 minutes.
5-minute recess.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Recess, and now we're back to the
Hey,
consent calendar.
Jim, can you turn on your mic?
Go ahead. We're back after a short delay and a recess, back now to the consent calendar. Is there anyone wish to pull any of the items? Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent calendar.
And I'll
Moved by
approve.
Vice Mayor Trubiano
And I'll second.
and seconded by
Just
Councilmember
point of order.
Tillman.
I'm not sure we finished public comment
Oh.
before we were interrupted, so I
All
just
right,
want to
we'll take
be
public
clear.
comment. Any comment on the agenda item, or excuse me, the consent calendar? Anybody online?
There are no speakers to this item
Thank you.
online.
Public comment closed. Now, would we please take the roll?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
And I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded again by Vice Mayor Tubriano, seconded by Councilmember Tillman.
Thank you.
Roll
On
call,
that-
please.
On that motion, Councilmember Cloven.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Juan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Tripiano.
Aye.
Mayor Diaz.
Aye.
Thank
Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll move into item number 7, which is recognitions and presentations. And we're honored tonight to have a local resident and the president of the Contra Costa County Water District, Mr. Please come up.
Great. Thank you, Mayor Diaz and City Council members. What a great honor to be with you tonight, and thank you for the opportunity to give you an update about what's happening at Contra Costa Water District. The next slide, please, if I could. What most people don't realize is the Contra Costa Water District is a special district and not part of the county. It's its own special district, which means it has elected board members. We have 5 of them, and they're noted here specifically. I'm currently the president of the board with Antonio Martinez as the vice president, and we have Pat Young, John Berg, and Constance Holdaway. I'd say if there's one thing I would let you all know is between the 5 of us, there's about 120 years of public utility and engineering experience on the board. So you're in good hands overall in terms of looking at what the needs are of the organization now and in the future. Next slide, please. As a special district, we serve about 500,000 people in the East Bay, including the city of Clayton, city of Pleasant Hill, Walnut Creek, half of Walnut Creek. We also provide raw water to Pittsburgh, Antioch, Brentwood as well, and along with the Bay Point area as well. What most folks don't realize is that we have, very interesting, many cities have their own distribution system and have their own treatment plants. So for half of the community that we serve, about 250,000 people, we provide them raw water using our canal system. And that water gets delivered to the cities. They have their own treatment plants and pipelines and then distribute the water directly to the tap. The other 250,000, including the city of Clayton and the city of Concord, Walnut Creek, Pleasant Hill, we provide treated water, and we get that water all the way to the tap. So the result is that we have, in many cases, a variety of different distribution facilities that are necessary to deliver that water. The item that if you'll see the map itself, the big bold line is probably one of the most prominent features of the Contra Costa Water District, and that's the Contra Costa Canal. It's been around for about 80 years, but it is the backbone of the system. 100% of the water that serves the community is served by the Contra Costa Canal. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what our plans are for that area coming up next. The one thing that I will note is that the water we get comes from the Delta. And in terms of the facilities, when they talk about distributing water to all of our community, next slide, please. Many people don't realize what it takes to deliver that water. We actually have 4 Delta intakes, or 4 straws into the Delta. And the reason why we have 4 is that we are able to identify where the best water quality is. So if we're going to put water in our storage system, we want to make sure that it's the sweetest water, less salinity, less overall, the best water quality available. And so we have 4 different locations we can draw water from. The other thing that we do is it also is governed by the State Water Resources Control Board. Whenever you have to take water from the Delta, you've got to get permission from the state to draw water from those locations. So a considerable amount of effort was put into place to make sure we have those intakes. But for the untreated water system, we have those intakes. We have 4 major storage reservoirs, including the Los Vaqueros Reservoir. The Contra Costa Canal that I mentioned earlier is a 48-mile canal system. The Shortcut Pipeline is one of the largest pipelines that connects from Clyde and Concord over to Martinez. What's interesting about that particular feature is we have to make sure that it's a pipeline that can handle the Concord Fault because it crosses right over it and Walnut Creek. The treated water system, we have 3 treated water treatment plants with nearly 62,000 connections to a variety of different residences in our service area. We have almost 900 miles of pipelines that are in place to deliver the water we provide and that we treat. We have 41 storage tanks as well that provide emergency storage, operational storage for the community, and we have 31 pump stations. And that's basically just the capital facilities that are necessary to provide reliable water service. Next slide, please. In terms of where the water comes from, it's interesting, this kind of notes kind of the water cycle. Obviously, our water comes from snowmelt, and the water then is stored up in the Central Valley Project, which I'll talk about in a second. That water then goes over to our canal system, which is the next arrow, which then goes into our reservoirs, like the Los Vaqueros Reservoir. We then pump that water over to the canal system, which is distributed to the different cities. Then we go into our treatment plants that treat the water, and then ultimately gets that water at home to the tap. What the beauty about our respective organization about this water cycle is, in order to make sure that Contra Costa Water District provides the best water quality and has the best, most reliable water supply, means that not only do we have to think about the water cycle, but we have to think about there's a group of people that are dedicated to every single element of that water cycle that you see. Contra Costa Water District has to be engaged in the promulgation of laws and regulations, the water quality requirements, reliability of water. We have to take into account earthquakes, wildland fires. All those elements are part of the critical element to making sure we can provide reliable water service to our customers. Next slide, please. Many of you know we have the drought. And probably if you had to focus on one key area is this: where does the majority of our water come from ultimately? We are a customer of the Central Valley Project, federal water. Lake Shasta provides nearly 90.9% of our water. If you're in a drought again and you want to see how good our water supply is, just look to see what the water level of Lake Shasta, because that really is the big determinant about how much water is going to be available to us in the future. So today, Lake Shasta is at 84% full, which is about 110% greater than normal, which is great news. We've really taken advantage of the fact that the CVP has really put some good storage water away. The most important element to us is Los Vaqueros Reservoir, which celebrated 25 years of being in service. Los Vaqueros was constructed 100% by the ratepayers of Contra Costa Water. All of you made that investment. The reason we survived the drought, these last 3 massive critical droughts we had, was because of the storage level that we have and maintain in that reservoir. Today, that reservoir is 91% full. We've taken advantage of good water quality in the Delta with the snowmelt, and we absolutely put every drop we can into Los Vaqueros because you never know if the next year will be a drought year. Next slide, please. This is just an indication of where we were. If you look on the left-hand side, these were the areas that were in severe drought in California in 2022. Even in 2023, there were still many areas of California that were still drought-stricken. In July of now this year, in 2024, you can see that the northeastern area of California is the one area that still has a drought problem or a drought issue. But in any given year, that can change. Next slide, please. When you look at this is an indication of what the water level has been for Los Vaqueros Reservoir, which provides our emergency supply for our community. It holds at least about 6 to 12 months of supply for the community in an emergency and for droughts. And those were the water levels. As you saw during the drought period of time, it depleted. What most folks don't realize, even in a wet year, it takes 2 to 3 years to fill that reservoir over time. And the reason why that's the case is because, aside from the fact that we have 4 straws into the Delta, the environmental requirements in many cases mean that we can only pump for those straws because of fishery issues. So it's good to have the flexibility to be able to draw water from different locations, but this has a direct impact on our water levels. So you just see the impact that the drought had on us. Next slide, please. One of the best ways to demonstrate how we were able to achieve success and survive the drought was because of the incredible work that the conservation of our community. The community did an incredible job of conserving water. Today, as we speak, we're using 22% less water than we did in 2013, while the growth has occurred. That's because water conservation has worked. When the community was asked to conserve water, they responded in a very big way. One of the things that we do to help as Contra Costa Water is we provide great rebate programs and services for residential and commercial customers in terms of rebates. We provide free consultation to homeowners about how they can conserve water and enhance or reduce the demands of their different lawns or different planting systems. We provide coupons for using mulch and water car wash coupons. We provide evaluations for our commercial customers, look at irrigation equipment. It's a service that's free at Contra Water. All you have to do is give us a call and the phone number that's noted here on the slide. Next slide, please. So one of the things that we talk about is we conserve water and we reduce water. And you can see that if you look at when we conserve water, this is a slide of how much revenue Contra Costa Water District has. When we sell less water, we generate less revenue. But the key thing to remember is those costs, we still need to be able to provide water on a reliable basis, whether it's 1 gallon or 115 million gallons in a given day. Next slide, please. What most people don't realize is, on average, only 3% of the cost of providing service is to actually buy water. The other 97% is to provide operations and maintenance facilities and crews to take care of our pipelines. It's the investment that we have on infrastructure. It's making sure that we have the safety programs and water lab that's necessary to comply with water quality regulations. So overall, on average, a customer pays about $3 a day for service for water. But only 8 cents of that $3 is to actually pay for water. The rest is to make sure we can deliver the water to the tap or to the intakes for our customers. And so when people ask, well, what am I paying for and why do I have to pay more? I've conserved water, but I got to pay more for the fact that we've conserved water. We still have to pay for making sure that reliability has a cost associated with it, even during a drought. Next slide, please. One of the things that we do to make sure we're prepared for meeting future water needs is we work with all of the cities, including Clayton, when we do the general plan updates. We work with the cities very carefully to find out what the projected growth and where the demand will be. Probably one of the biggest impacts we're dealing with right now is densification. Auxiliary dwelling units have an impact in terms of how much water gets used on a per square foot basis. So we're very closely monitoring the impact of housing and how much densification is happening by the cities. The good news is that we work very closely with all of our cities to make sure we anticipate what those demands will be for the future. And these are just reports that we use in that regard. Next slide, please. What many people don't realize is we've integrated recycled water in all of our future water supply planning. We anticipate right now that we'll have 15% of the water that will be provided within our community for 500,000 people will be recycled water. One of the largest examples of what we're doing is the Concord Naval Weapons Station redevelopment project. Most of the system will have a dual system of domestic water and recycled water or purple pipe, which will be used for lawn and irrigation systems. So we work very closely with Central San and Diablo Water District to integrate recycled water for the community as well. Next slide, please. The largest project we have underway is the Canal Modernization Project, or canal replacement. The canal system has been a very steady Eddie facility for many years, but it's near the end of its economic life. We're dealing with, the photos here indicating some of the major leaks that we have on a regular basis. We also have the problem of landslides. During one of the largest storms we had, and even the most recent storm, we averaged about 150 to 250 landslides per major event. That means that we have to make sure that we're taking dirt out, stabilizing soil, while still maintaining service to our customers. We have intrusions by vehicles and people that drown, unfortunately, on the canal system. We've actually lost more people over the life of the canal in the canal than Loma Prieta earthquake. So that's why the Canal Modernization Project, in terms of being able to save water, improve taste and odor, because with less sunlight, algae doesn't grow, and we have less water quality problems. Safer for the community, less prone to landslides, is why that's one of the largest investments we're making over the next 8 years, almost $1 billion project for the community, which will be paid. We're looking at different grant programs, federal funding, and other venues to try to minimize the impact to our ratepayers, but it's all part of our planning. Next slide, please. We've already started on our first reach of the project. This is some of the work on some of the major pipelines. You can see the size of the pipeline, 10-foot diameter pipelines that are necessary to convey the water for our community. The work is underway, but it's still going to take 8 years because the bulk of the project will be the first 25 miles. And so we're working very steadily on trying to make some progress there. And I think you'll see that we're making pretty good. We've improved the water quality in the first reaches of the project. Next slide, please. You'll hear a lot about Los Vaqueros Reservoir. As you know, we've been studying the potential expansion to create Los Vaqueros as a regional project. The discussions are reaching a critical stage. We're now looking to make sure if it still makes sense. Will the regional partners come up with a game plan that will make sure that our water quality is protected for our community, making sure that rates don't go up because they're making an investment in a regional facility, making sure that water supply reliability is protected and water quality is protected. After all, it's an investment that this community made and has served us well for 25 years. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll have some more information in that regard sometime later on this year. Next slide, please. And one of the things we love, aside from the fact that whenever you need us, we're there for you. So when the water main broke in downtown Clayton, we were there for you. But we love being part of the community, and thank you for including us in the recent parade. It was great and an honor to be part of this great community. Next slide, please. And finally, my thank you. If you have any questions, you have ccwater.com. You can give us a call at 688-8000. Connect with us on Facebook or X. We'll be happy to help you conserve more water. And thank you for the opportunity you've given me to give you an update of what's happening at Contra Costa Water. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Avila, thank you very much. By the way, I do want to reprise a little bit of work that Ernie did for us back when another public utility, was working on Easley Drive, and they interrupted the water supply up there. Under Ernie's leadership with his team, they came in and they had that water running again to those residents, even though it was temporary, within short order, and we really appreciate that. Anybody on the city council have questions for Ernie?
Oh, I just had a comment, not really a question. I didn't realize that 100% of the water comes through the canal system. I remember growing up and the trail along the canal, we called it the Canal Road.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it's really called, but that's what we called it. It was popular for all the kids to see how far along the canal you could bike, and if you could bike to the end.
Right.
And we could never bike to the end.
That's
it was really long. So I have fond memories of the canal system. So
thank you for that. Thank you for that comment.
Thank you.
Ernie, Mr. Avila, I think I've spoken to you about this before, but what would it take to bring recycled water to a community like Clayton that spends, over $300,000 a year in water? I think you said the purple pipe is about 10 miles away, and is there any thought about bringing those purple pipes closer so that we might be able to take advantage of that?
Well, Vice Mayor, the recycled water program is actually managed by Central San. Yeah, so Central San is actually the leader for the recycled water program. The good news is that we just as we coordinate with the cities on the general plan updates on population growth and intensification, we work with Central San in terms of what their master plan is for recycled water. And whenever possible, we integrate them. So just with Naval Weapons Station, we've integrated their planning and their right-of-way with our right-of-way for the pipelines. What we'll probably end up doing is we'll probably end up actually maintaining the pipelines because we're in the business of taking care of high-pressure water mains, and that's just what we do. So we'll probably end up taking care of the recycled water pipelines. But Central San is the key driver regarding their master planning for recycled water. I'd encourage you to give them a call, and if they have major plans for Clayton, we'll gladly work with them in terms of expanding and using recycled water here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
I just have a quick, maybe clarification question. So the shortcut pipeline,
Yes.
is that the piece that you're talking about, that's the 25 miles, or is that different?
No, that's different. The shortcut pipeline connects Concord and Martinez, Martinez Reservoir. The 25 miles, first 25 miles are the most critical. That's where 100% of the water must travel through that portion of the canal system.
Okay.
The shortcut pipeline is just where it crosses the Concord Fault between Concord and Martinez.
And is that also going to, excuse me, also going to be replaced as well?
It's being replaced even as we speak.
Okay.
Yep, that was one of the first projects we have underway right now. It took 5 years of planning because it's an environmentally sensitive area. And also the design for how we cross the Concord Fault and maintain it, the pipeline in service while the fault is moving in an earthquake, took a lot of engineering. That took some time.
Yep. Okay. And then the only other question I had, just because I'm curious, you mentioned that raw water is being given to other cities. How much more do they pay for, the residents, for that, not to get that water, but for that to be treated, those cities? So we're paying a certain rate.
Yes.
So our ratepayers, what is the difference between those who are getting raw water that has to be treated by their cities
Yes.
versus us?
Yeah, so basically, the treatment plant system will probably represent about 30% of their cost overall for raw water, give or take, depending on how much water they draw, et cetera. But the rest is their distribution system, their treatment plants, and so their other 70% plus will be their distribution system and their costs specifically. So for us, it's about, so that's about right. Each city's a little bit different, and council member, if you want more information, I'd be happy to provide that for you.
Sure, if you wouldn't mind sending. I'm
Not
just
at all.
curious.
We've got staff here, we'll make it a good
Daniel
note,
will send
we'll
it.
respond to that.
Daniel and I are very close friends.
Good.
Thanks.
Anyone else from the city council have any comments or questions? Okay. Ernie, thank you very much for
My
the
pleasure.
update, and we'll ask if there's anybody in the audience that wishes to address any questions to the president. Yes, sir.
After listening to a presentation, actually your predecessor, for 8 years on the city council, I was always told that the water coming from Los Vaqueros Reservoir was for water quality only. It wasn't to supplement the water during the drought, because during the drought years you have that saltwater intrusion coming in, and it was for water quality, not to supplement the water during the drought period. Is that still correct, or was I hearing him wrong? Yeah.
Los Vaqueros was designed to improve water quality and to provide a source of water, particularly during an emergency. We use it routinely for blending. So when the water quality, for example, we'll still take water from the delta. If it gets a higher salinity level, we'll use the stored water to blend with the water to enhance the water quality being delivered. But if there were a hiccup or if the salinity is so bad in the delta, 100% of the water will be drawn from Los Vaqueros and not the delta. So what's been interesting for us, some of the challenges we had, for example, with the Central Valley Project, who provides us 100% of our water, is that they considered the storage to be a source of water during the drought. Well, we explained to them that the reservoir is designed for emergencies use under those circumstances, but those discussions continue during the chronic drought. Having 3 chronic droughts happen over 7 years put a real stress on Shasta. Shasta got down to nearly 31% of capacity. The result is that they looked to our storage levels and said, could you try to mitigate that a bit? And so we tried to work with them. So I hope that answers your question. It depends on the circumstances.
Thank you. Anything else? Mr. Avila, thank you so much for your presentation. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mayor, and there are no
Nope,
speakers
go ahead.
online.
Who wants to speak?
For the record, there are no speakers online.
Okay, we do. Go ahead. We have nobody. We're going to close that public comment on that. Thank you again. And we'll now go back to our agenda, and we have the next item up on for discussion is the city manager and staff report. Mr. Polziger.
Thank you, Mayor Diaz and council members. I'll keep my report brief here. I do have a couple items that I'd like to share. First off is we conducted outreach, posted the position of Assistant City Manager, Administrative Services Director, did a full recruitment, had candidates, interviewed candidates, and we are pleased to announce that we've made an offer to Regina Rubier, who has accepted the position. She is tentatively scheduled to start on Monday, August 5th. As you all, as the council knows, and as the community may also understand, Regina has been working as our finance advisor here for the last several months and has done a great job helping the city move forward during the transition. But I'm very excited for the city of Clayton and its community that Regina will be joining the team full-time as your Assistant City Manager, Administrative Services Director. Come around the week of August 5th, we'll do a meet and greet and welcome the community to come and meet Regina personally here at City Hall. But in the meantime, if you see Regina out and about, please feel free to introduce yourself and say hello. We have also, as the council knows, we have engaged 4Leaf. They are a consulting firm that provides community services, community development support for planning, building, and code enforcement. They are currently providing that service for planning and code enforcement. You may all have noticed that code enforcement has ratcheted up here in Clayton, and that's because of Jason McKinley, who has joined our team as our code enforcement officer. I think he has cleaned up a backlog of 7 or 8 code enforcement issues that were brought to his attention as he's been going back through the files. And then since then, he's moved forward, meeting with community members on other issues that have either come as complaints driven by the neighborhood to come and look at some of the activities going on in their neighborhood, or other means where the complaints have been reported to the city. It's really important to note, people get nervous when code enforcement comes to town and starts doing enforcement. It starts with a courtesy notice where we inform the public that there's been a violation that's been noted. We come and meet with you to talk about what the violation is or isn't. If it's not a violation, then we're able to close that and report back that it's not a violation. If it is a violation, we're there to help you come into compliance. If you ignore the city, then you get another notice from us that says that we are now giving you an official notice that you're in violation, and you have roughly 30 days to correct that violation. And if you don't, you'll get a third notice, which is usually a citation. And then that citation can incur significant costs based on those violations. But it's really important when you receive these notices or you talk to people in the community that are receiving these courtesy notices, come talk to us. We're here to help you. We actually don't want to fine or take those types of actions that drive a wedge between neighbors and the city. We're here to help you come into compliance and help everyone live next door to each other as best as possible. But I do want to recognize that Jason's done a great job. He's just been here a few weeks and has really hit the ground running. We recently had a Budget and Audit Committee meeting last week on Wednesday the 10th. Those meetings are recorded. I encourage you all to go back and watch those. We had presentations from our business license firm that is now starting the process of renewing business licenses here in our community. Again, we kind of gave an overview of what the process is, and then we'll be starting a process of discovery for those that either don't know or don't want to take out business licenses with the city. HCL will help us go and try to identify those folks, and the same type of process, invite you to renew or establish a business license here in the community and continue to do business supporting and with us here to support you. The third item that was also discussed was looking at our city investments and how we manage our investment, the funds that we have invested by outside brokerage firm, and a discussion about bringing that to council here in the next few months to look at how we manage that and look at other options. So again, you can go back to that meeting, you can listen to those presentations, and if you have questions of staff or the council, you're please free to reach out to us directly via email. Lastly, I do want to thank the council. I know the question was raised earlier in items not on the agenda. The council is working very hard to interview and review applications for the city manager position, and it's a lot of work and takes a lot of patience and diligence, and the council deserves recognition for the work that you all are doing on this really important process. So I want the public to know that your council is working hard on the community's behalf to select someone that can help lead the city. I've said this before, the city manager's job is not easy. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. Communities are difficult, and that's on purpose. We live in a country where people have freedoms, and we have to respect that. And we have to figure out how to work together and work as a community and celebrate the diversity and the uniqueness of the city of Clayton. I think Clayton is an amazing job. It'll be an amazing job for a great city manager to come in here and work with this staff. I think this staff has worked really hard to come together. You have a police chief, a city engineer, maintenance superintendent, your city clerk, your finance accountant. You just have an amazing team that is working hard, the officers, the maintenance workers, across the board, the office support, administrative support. Everyone is really working together nicely The transition is set up really well for someone to come onto this team and help work with the council and work with the community, and think you have brighter days ahead of you. So thank you, council, for your hard work on going through this interview and recruitment process, city manager, and I continue to wish you good luck on that too.
Well, thank you. I want to comment that under Adam's leadership, he's reorganized and redid the management structure of city administration, and he's made it more efficient. And back to the selection of a city manager, when that person finally gets selected, he or she is going to have a great easy time moving into the position of city manager based upon the successes that Adam has brought to the interim city manager leadership. To the city manager itself in that process, we can't go without recognizing both Councilmember Peter Clove and Vice Mayor Trubriano. They're the two committee members that are the frontline committee that are screening the candidates, working with Bob Murray and Associates, and bringing forth some very good candidates. And hopefully, in the next few weeks, we should have more to let you know about, and hopefully be able to announce that we will have a new city manager. Okay, with that, we will now move to item number 8, and that's for public hearing on a very important matter, and we're going to call upon our city engineer to talk about the comments and proposed real property assessments to the Diablo Estates and Clayton at the Clayton Beneficial Assessment Office, or BAD, and we will then close the hearing and take action to adopt a resolution which allows the annual levying assessments. Mr. City Engineer.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. As the mayor had already addressed, we have an annual process of setting assessments for this benefit assessment district. It comprises of 24 homes, generally on Seminary Ridge near the Regency Drive neighborhood. Those homes, when they were developed, they were set up to have a district to collect funds for street lighting, landscape, drainage, and so those funds are collected from those 24 property owners on an annual basis. This year, the assessment's being raised by 4%, which is slightly above the CPI. Normally, the maximum is the CPI increase. But a year ago, we did not levy the maximum amount, so we are taking a little bit of that sort of remainder from last year and increased it to 4%. So we're still below the maximum assessment that could be placed upon these properties. At some point, you could probably reach to that maximum. Essentially, last year, the thought was that we were still working on trying to get a landscape contractor, more services in place because there was a transition from the previous contractor. Now we have Mike McCall Landscape Services out there on a weekly basis doing all the landscape, which is primarily around the boundary of the development. They will be going in there, and so the city also performed weed abatement along the open space areas, and so Mike McCall Landscape will also come back through and clean up some of the weed abatement, or basically the downed weeds from the drainage ditches. They'll do that before the rains, so it's nice and cleared up. And so those are the general services that are being provided. And then as streetlights potentially go out or need to be serviced, the city steps in and replaces light bulbs or addresses any troubleshooting. The street itself is a private street. That's owned by the 24 property owners, so that's a separate element that the city is not involved in. It's involved mainly on the maintenance level services. So I'd ask that you open the public hearing tonight, take any comments. The 24 property owners received the engineer's report that's attached to the staff report as a whole. They also received a notice to attend if they'd like to have any comments prior to your approval. So I would request any public comment.
Thank you. All right. Before I do open it up for the public comment on this. Yes, sir. And then,
quick question. You had indicated that the 4% is below the maximum. How is the maximum determined?
The maximum is determined on a year-to-year basis of the increase in the CPI. I think it's April to April. I can't remember the time frame. Because last year we did not increase to the full maximum, there was still, the ceiling was raised. We just did not collect the full assessment last year. So we can collect the CPI plus whatever's left from that was unassessed last year. We're taking a little bit, like 0.25% more. So the CPI increase this year is, I believe, 3.8, and so we're increasing to 4% this year.
So each year that the maximum is not increased, how long are you able to accumulate accumulate a gap between the maximum and what's actually assessed?
I think you can continue to believe below the maximum if you choose. You can also choose not to raise the ceiling, but then you will not get another opportunity to raise it. You can only go up by the CPI. So effectively, you've given yourself the capacity, but you have not utilized the entire capacity as of yet. And that was, I believe, for the first time last year because of the transition in landscape services is the main thing. And frankly, this particular district, having been set up relatively recently, is well funded. As you can see, the annual assessment for each of these properties is $4,000 a year. So there's the cost of not only the services, it's built in with the capital replacement costs. Long-term items are budgeted. So there's a healthy reserve for this particular fund. So last year when we made a decision, it wasn't going to make a huge impact to this particular district, but we still felt you do not want to lose the opportunity because something could change to be able to go to the full capacity.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. So are we doing two actions then, or are you recommending that we increase the maximum but increase the actual levy below the maximum?
Yes, that's correct. So the ceiling is being raised to I believe around $4,200 per unit, but the actual assessment that will be charged on the property tax roll is around $4,000. And that's part of the resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Tillman.
The only question I wanted to ask, Larry, was I know that there was a transition for the landscape piece. Given that there were only, 24 homes or so, it was hard to try to find somebody to come in and do it. And I think you mentioned there's a Mike McCall. And is that the new contractor who's
Yes,
handling
Mike
it?
McCall is the contractor.
And have the residents complained at all? I know there were some complaints before the transition that happened last year. How is it going so far this year up there?
Actually, I think it's gone better. There hasn't been any, there's been a couple times when a property owner has indicated something is, needs to be addressed, so we'll address it. I would say there's no current complaints that are outstanding. I think we had a tree branch that came down, actually a tree split, and we're not out there all the time, so it helps when someone calls. We were able to get Mike McCall out there and remove that particular tree as an example. And then we did, like I mentioned, the weed abatement was recently chopped down. That was by the city's contract with Warner. But then some of that is still debris out there. And it was in the concrete ditch, which wasn't part of the Warner contract. So we hired Mike McCall, who's going to go out there, I believe, next Monday to clear out the ditches in the very edges of it. So that way there's no debris. Well, they'll get debris back in there eventually because it's an open space, but it'll be clear for drainage when the rains come.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we're going to open this now up for public comment, and please step up and tell us your name and your comment. No one. Okay. Anybody online that wishes to address us on this?
There are no speakers online to this
None
item.
either. Well, then I'll close the public comment on this item. Mr. Larry Thies, please sum up.
So I appreciate, Mayor, as recommended, we would request that the council approve the attached resolution for the proposed real property assessments for Diablo Estates at the Clayton Benefit Assessment District and adopt the resolution to allow the annual levying of assessments.
Can I add one piece for discussion? And that's how I was asking about what were the actual resolution, because the resolution has two items on it, essentially. One is the assessment of the 4,000, which is the 4%. The second is the copy of the resolution, but I don't see anything that indicates the actual raising of the ceiling. Should that be included in the resolution to accomplish what we're trying to do?
Let me take a quick look.
Sure.
That's
It's
a good
also
comment.
in the agenda packet twice. So.
I think, yes, we should amend the resolution to be clear, similar to what the notice
The public
says.
notice says it,
Yes.
but the resolution does not.
So I would ask that the resolution be amended, that the first sentence in the number 2 bullet of the notice, that I would say the fiscal year 24-25 maximum assessment rate per parcel is proposed to be $4,409.39, which includes a 4% increase over the existing fiscal year 23-24 maximum rate of $42,3980 per year, be added into the resolution.
So page 70 of the PDF, it is the item number 2 in the center of the page.
Right, but the figures.
So it says, so I think there's two separate numbers.
There's two separate ones, I see.
Okay, so
I
that's
think
fine.
that is a good comment. I think we should add that to be clear.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing it, so, okay. So with that, I would make a motion to approve the resolution with the addition that our city engineer just said.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilmember Wan, seconded by Councilmember Tillman. Any further discussion from the council? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. And just to clarify, the public hearing was closed at the close of public comment, and this is a motion on the amended resolution. Councilmember Cloven?
Aye.
Tillman?
Aye.
Juan?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Tripiano?
Aye.
Mayor Diaz?
Aye.
Thank you. You have 5 ayes.
Great, thank you. That concludes item number 9 on the public hearing. We now move into the action items. And the first one, I apologize for us getting so long to get to this, but I know we have 5 people out there that are very interested in this next item. 10A is adopt a resolution appointing 3 individuals to the Planning Commission for a 2-year term expiring June 30, 2026. City Clerk, please.
Thank you, Mayor. And this is after the interviews that were held earlier today. You did have 5 candidates for the 3 positions. Now we would ask that the council select which 3 applicants they will be appointing to the Planning Commission, and this will be for a 2-year term beginning today and ending on June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. We're now open for discussion on the appointment of those 3 individuals out of the 5 that we heard from this evening. Any comments from anybody? Go ahead, Councilmember Cloven.
I'm very familiar with the 3 incumbent planning commissioners, and I appreciate their putting their applications in again. I wanted to say that I was personally very impressed with the presentation of the 2 additional applicants. I don't know them personally, I haven't met them, but their presentation, their knowledge, their desire, their passion, and experience really gave me a good feeling about their being involved in Clayton in the future. And I was just very happy that they presented, and I'm looking forward, whatever the result is, that they continue to come back and be engaged in our city.
Okay. Vice Mayor Cipriano.
Thank you, Mayor. I was also delighted, too, that we had 5 applicants for 3 open planning commissioner seats, and I thought all the applicants and applications were terrific. I enjoyed the presentations, and kind of the same as Councilmember Cloven, whatever the outcome, I hope that those who were not selected this evening continue to stay engaged in the process. I just want to say that I really appreciate Dan, who's in the back of the room. I love his experience. I love his heart and soul in it. I think that the commission right now is doing an excellent job. I think we have a variety of folks that have experience, some that are learning, and that provides a nice viewpoint and perspective, more reflective of our entire community. And so I would be inclined to keep things as they are with our 3 incumbents. That's my
Thank you.
my perspective. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilmember Tillman.
Sure, we can just go down the line. No, I agree with my 2 colleagues. It's nice to see that people are engaged and to see new people wanting to be involved in the community. I would also concur that having the folks on that we do have on our current planning commission, it is nice. I think that having some longevity on there is helpful instead of having a brand new complete slate. And so for that reason, I would concur that it probably does make sense to keep the planning commissioners the same that they currently are and to allow the 3 who have reapplied to stay on. Because I would hate to see brand new folks having to learn from scratch without more continuity on there. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Councilmember Juan.
Yeah, I would, it's really hard to put yourself out there and volunteer, so I'm just really grateful that folks are willing to step up. Obviously, I'm very familiar with the 3 incumbent planning commissioners. I thought the 2 folks who applied new were great. It's just really, I have a lot of gratitude for someone who's willing to step up and do it. So that's awesome. I do believe that, just in terms of substance, the key role of the planning commissioner is, there's a rules element to it, and I think that didn't come as clear from some of the new candidates, and I encourage them to continue their interest in pursuing it. But I would be inclined as well to reappoint the current incumbents.
Thank you. My brief comments are, I hear a groundswell here that we're very pleased with the existing planning commission and those 3 incumbents that are seeking reappointment. I want to also mention to the other 2 applicants, don't be discouraged if not selected. There are other opportunities to offer your service to the city, and one of them is through our Trails and Landscape Committee, which is very active now. I know that Councilmember Tillman's taking the leadership of that, and yeah, so it's moving forward as well. But anyhow, I would like to not have you walk away thinking that you were overlooked or not appreciated, but I will tell you the 3 planning commissioners that are applying for reappointment have definitely done an excellent job. Things are getting accomplished there. And one other thing that is mentioned that I think Councilmember Juan mentioned is that they're also offering some tutorship, if you will, to the 2 junior members of the Planning Commission. I can so mention that as junior members because the seasoned people that are the 3 leaders that we have are offering them support to make sure that they also can come up to speed and take some of the leadership roles that 2 of the 3 have done at this time. So before we take a vote, should it be appropriate to ask for any public comment? Yep. Thank you. Any public comment on the appointment of the 3 members to the Planning Commission of the 5 applicants that we received this evening? I see none in Hoyer Hall. Anybody online?
There are no speakers online.
Okay, then I will close the public comment on that item and bring it back to the City Council, and we'll accept a motion and a second to move forward with the appointment of 3 members to the City Planning Commission.
I would move that we reappoint the existing incumbents who applied for the Planning Commission.
I'll second it.
Moved by Councilmember Juan, seconded by Vice Mayor Trupiano. Will the city clerk please take the roll?
Thank you. And on the motion to reappoint Dan Richardson, Richard Ania Sr., and Maria Schulman to the Planning Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2026, Councilmember Cloven?
Aye.
Tillman?
Aye.
Juan?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Trupiano?
Aye.
Mayor Diaz?
Yes.
Thank you. You have 5 ayes.
Congratulations to the three of you, the three incumbents. We look forward to another 2 good years on the Planning Commission. Thank you very much. And to those other individuals, again, don't give up. There are other opportunities to work within the city of Clayton, and I particularly point out the Trails and Landscape Committee. That's becoming more and more active as every day goes by. Thank you. We're finished with item 10A. We'll now move on to item 10B, which is authorize the interim city manager to execute an amendment, number 2, to the city Clayton's professional services agreement with Thies Engineering and Associates for city engineering services for the additional limited time period, public works management services with no extension of the time for the additional amount of not to exceed $37,200. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and council members. I'm going to turn this over to our Finance Advisor, Regina Rubier, who's going to lead this presentation.
Good evening, council and the public. The next 4 items are all pretty straightforward, and they were all vetted through the Budget and Audit Committee on Wednesday, June 10th. The first item, 10B, is authorizing the city manager to execute amendment number 2 for the city's professional service agreement with Thies Engineering. Some thought was done a while ago, and while there was discussion, the formal authorization and execution of this contract never happened, which is why we're bringing it to council this evening. This amendment allows the city engineer, Larry Thies, some additional time to help Public Works project management services. Such project management services are Climatech, the potential library remodel, PG&E LED installation, CEMEX, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, CEMEX, donation for street improvements, and provide support services for the Public Works Superintendent. In your agenda packet, there was an organization chart also attached, and that is probably the first time this council is seeing the city's org chart as it's currently sitting. So with that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Anyone? Okay. Then we will now open this item up for public comment. And I'm overwhelmed by the attendance in the audience. Anyone in Hoyer Hall that wishes to address this item? Seeing? Was that a no? Okay, and anybody online, Madam City Clerk?
There are no speakers to this item online.
Okay, well, we'll bring it back up to the City Council after closing the public comment, and let's see about what our direction is.
Well, I just want to add a comment. I think Larry is doing an amazing job, as I always thought he has, but I particularly appreciate him stepping into the role of providing leadership on Climatech. I've heard the folks at Climatech say he's the right person at the right moment because we really need his services. The Public Works, PG&E, I mean, CEMEX, the list goes on. So thank you, Larry. I think this is a nice addition to your existing contract, and I appreciate all your hard work for our city.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, no.
I'm afraid I'm going to open up a can of worms.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say I don't want to open a can of worms, but I am going to plant the seed. I'm pleased to see this happening, and I'm looking forward to adding on additional funding for him to work with the Landscape Maintenance District TLC group, because there's a lot of work there to be done. So, one step at a time, but I'm planting that seed now.
Okay, and I want to add my compliments to Larry and the work he's doing. Particularly, one piece in there that you don't realize is PG&E by itself. They are doing a tremendous amount of work here in town, and they have had a few hiccups. And Larry's overseeing straightening all that out and getting things back to normal on our street and roadways. Thank you, and I support that. I support this concept as well. Mr. Cloven.
Larry, just want to say that just incredibly grateful for your services relative to our experience with our prior city engineer before this. You've been Johnny on the spot every time we've asked you. Very grateful for Raina for bringing you to us, and we're glad you're still around. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Will we have a motion?
Move approval.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilmember Juan, seconded by Vice Mayor Trupiano. Will the city clerk please take the roll?
And on that motion, Councilmember Cloven.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Juan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Trupiano.
Aye.
Mayor Diaz.
Yes, thank you very much, and we look forward to many new things happening there in the maintenance area and city engineering. Thank you very much, Larry.
You've been
Okay,
conscripted to do
item
more work.
10C is to adopt a resolution ordering the levy and collection of special taxes and setting forth the special tax amount for the Community Facilities District, CFD 2601, downtown park operation and maintenance for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Our financial advisor and assistant city manager.
Thank you again, Mayor. This is an annual levy of collection of special taxes for fiscal year 2024-25 for CFD 2601, which, as you mentioned, is the downtown park operation and maintenance. We did not receive this notification in time to incorporate it into our annual budget, and so this is a formality so that we can include these, we can have this number in the, it's already budgeted, the funds are already budgeted, but we need to make sure that this amount that we're,
Excuse me.
yes, this amount that we're levying will match with our budget. So we'll probably be taking this to a budget amendment.
The key word phrase.
In early 2025.
Right. Thank you.
End of my report.
Any questions of the finance director? None. Thank you. We'll open up the public hearing on this item, and anyone in Hoyer Hall wish to address the council on this item 10C? No? Anybody online?
There are no speakers to this item.
Okay,
only.
I'm going to close the public comment on this item and move it back to the city council for action.
Move approval.
I second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Juan, seconded by Councilmember Cloven. Will the city clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember Cloven.
Aye.
Juan.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Trupiano.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Diaz.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes item 10C. We now move to item 10D, adopt a resolution ordering the levy and collection of special taxes for the special tax amount for the Community Facilities District, number 2007-1, citywide landscape maintenance tax for fiscal year 2024-25. Again, City Finance Director.
Same situation as your last item. We will more than likely need to do a mid-year budget amendment for CFD 2007-01 as well in early 2025.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions, comments from the city council? Yes.
The only comment that I make is just reminding the council that this sunsets in 2027, and so we'll have to have a lot of discussions about how to move forward with the community. So just a reminder.
Anyone else? Okay. I'll open up the public hearing here, the public comment from the attendees here in Hoyer Hall. Anyone? Don't all rush up at once. Okay, how about online?
There are no speakers to
None
this
there.
item.
So I'm closing public comment on that. We bring it back to the council for action.
Move approval.
Moved by Juan,
I'll second.
seconded by Tillman. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Cloven.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Juan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Trupiano.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Diaz,
Yes,
Mayor Diaz, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that completes item 10D, and we move to item 10E, which is the final one on our action items. Establish the appropriations limit applicable to the city of Clayton City during fiscal year 2024 as $351. No zeros after that, but $14,632,351. Again,
Thank you, Mayor. This is just establishing our annual appropriation limit for fiscal year 2024-25. This is normally done in concert with the annual budget in the June, but due to the time constraints, we moved this item to July. There are no penalties for doing so, so we just need to establish this appropriations limit to $14,632,351.
thank you. Questions from the City Council? None. Opening it up for public comment. Anyone here in Hoyer Hall that wishes to address this item 10E? Seeing none. Anybody online?
There are no speakers to this item online.
I have to make a comment. Joel Clayton is online again tonight, and I'd love to know how that's working. But anyhow, and he's been awfully silent. Okay, closing public hearing or comment on that item and bring it back to the City Council.
Move approval.
Moved by Juan
I'll second.
and seconded by Vice Mayor Trupiano. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Cloven,
Aye.
Tillman,
Aye.
Juan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Tripiana,
Aye.
Mayor Diaz.
Yes, thank you very much. Concludes all action items A through E. And we'll now move to item 11, which is council items limited to requests and directives for future meetings. Anyone? Okay. Oh, you go right ahead. You're on.
Yes, just to reiterate what I said earlier about having conversations about the landscape maintenance district sunsetting, adding that to a future agenda item and discussing not only amongst ourselves, but possibly having a joint meeting with the Trails and Landscape Committee, trying to figure out how we will alert the public to what our options are going forward as far as the landscape maintenance district, and maybe having a teaching session with the community. So that's a thought. And then the other request that I have is the same one that I've made since last October, which is for us as a council to discuss council censorship, or censoring rather, for treatment of employees in City Hall, and how we want to move forward with that and hiring a third party to investigate it.
Thank you. Anything else? The only thing I brought up to the city manager today was to make sure we look forward to a joint meeting with the Mount Diablo School District that we normally have once a year, and I guess we hadn't had one in a while, so we probably need to get back together with them. Anybody else? Nothing? I'm closing item number 11, moving to item number 12, council reports, and we'll begin with Councilmember Cloven.
It's been lovely to have a couple of meetings off. Good to see you all again. I got to say, I want a huge gratitude to the Special Events Subcommittee and to Sandy Johnson in particular, who put on the 4th of July parade. That was a phenomenal event and just good spirit, good day. Been enjoying speaking with residents. A lot of questions about these next few months and the energies that go about the election cycle. And it's just hang on to our hats. It's going to be an interesting one. So, end of report.
Thank you. Councilmember Juan.
I don't remember all the dates, but we've had several budget and audit committee meetings, meetings with the energy ad hoc committee, which the name eludes me right now, but really getting feedback and giving direction on the Climate Tech project, which I think is still one of the largest infrastructure projects that we've done in a long time. Obviously, we were all at the 4th of July parade, which again, as Councilmember Cloven mentioned, Sandy and Maria Schulman, who were at essentially every meeting assisting with the planning, and then also Vice Mayor Trupiano. were instrumental in making that successful, so that was great. And then all of us, and we all participated in the city manager recruitment process, which is ongoing. It's an interesting process because we can't tell you anything about it until the end, but we meet a lot and we tell you nothing. So that's really interesting. So it is ongoing. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Tillman.
It's been 6 weeks, so there was a lot. There's the paper. I'll run through quickly. I did attend the farewell to Dana because she did leave after our last meeting, so it was nice to be able to see her before she left. That was our Community Development Director, Dana Ayers. I met with Regina and discussed the budget, so thank you for meeting with me to do that. Several Clayton Pride board meetings and recaps so that we can prepare for next year. We also had quite a few award ceremonies that people around the region gave to Clayton Pride in recognition for everything that we're doing here as far as having the largest Pride Parade in Contra Costa County. I attended the CBCA Roundup, which was an amazing night at Oakhurst Country Club. It was nice to be able to just have a night of community with everybody just enjoying themselves. And that team did a great job led by Pat Mittendorf and crew. And then the next day I had a lot of barbecue at Barbecue and Brews Festival. It was nice. Also celebrated Juneteenth. And then I had my Community Services Policy Committee for the League of California Cities. And it was nice to be able to finish out the year with everybody on that committee talking about how we can deal with disaster preparedness, since that's something that you and I had talked about as we were doing our goals for Clayton. I also received, since our last meeting, our FireWise assessment from ConFire, and I will share that with everyone. We have 2 now Clayton FireWise communities. There's a third that's starting possibly in Dana Hills. There's one out on Morgan Territory and Marsh Creek Road, which I mentioned, and then we also have one in Oakhurst. I have the Oakhurst assessment that I'll share. Mount Diablo Education Foundation board meetings. I'm trying to get ready for the school year and make sure that there's students that are in our area that are interacting and doing stuff with our Mount Diablo Elementary School, what is it called? The Garden. So that's funding that we do for that and making sure that students have access to that and nature and planting everything and that life cycle. And then we had our League of California Cities Bocce Tournament. Councilmember Cloven and Chief McEachin joined me along with Climatech. We did not win. I hate to say that we did not bring home the trophy, but Pittsburgh did, and the chief rolled some good bocce, even though that was his first time. So thank you for coming. And then city manager interviews, and you guys already mentioned the parade. So that's all I got. Lots of calls and lots of meetings about the landscape maintenance district, which is why I keep mentioning it.
Thank you.
So.
Vice Member Tillman, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, there we go.
Member, whatever.
That's okay.
I mean, excuse me.
Trupiano,
I was thinking,
okay.
I mean, I was impressed with Holly's report. It was excellent. Thank you.
So again, it has been quite a while since we've met, so I'll try to be brief. Our library foundation met in early June, and again, some great new leadership, and they are looking for board members. I continue to report out on that. Our East Contra Costa Habitat Conservancy meeting was out in Brentwood. We approved the annual budget, and they are just doing a terrific job of protecting our open spaces. Our city-sponsored special event committee met at the end of June to finalize all of our 4th of July parade preparations, and then I participated in the parade layout this year for the first time, and I honestly cannot thank Sandy Johnson enough. Amazing. Stephanie Cabrera-Brown, our city clerk, all the volunteers behind the scenes, Dan Richardson. I mean, it was an amazing amount of work, and it was good to see a little bit behind the curtain. But I heard a lot of people tell me that it was one of the best 4th of July parades that they've ever attended. And I'm glad we were able to beat the heat a little bit there. I did have a meeting with CEMEX, our city manager and our city engineer. There may be an opportunity for us to engage with them on some road improvements along Mitchell Canyon Road, and more to come on that. We're working on that. City manager interviews, budget and audit committee meeting. This last one was really terrific. Mayor's Conference. Mayor, I don't know if you're going to talk about that, but we had a great presentation by the folks in the fire department, so maybe I'll let you speak to that. Climate Tech we talked about. It's the Energy Services and Infrastructure Committee. How can you forget that? No. We did have, I think that's it. I think that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes? May I add one more? Absolutely, go right ahead.
I just want to let everybody know that Chick Boss reopened. That they had the grand reopening on Sunday that I attended, and so that is downtown Clayton. Pat Pinnell was pleased to reopen her doors. She's got a lot of new things, new items that are in there, not just her jewelry and her clothing. She's got a lot of new stuff. So Clayton coasters, I took all of them. Hopefully she gets some more in stock, but there's a lot of fun stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, it's been a busy period of time since we last get together, so I'm going to make this extremely brief, but I've attended a couple of mayor's conferences. In fact, the last one we had was over in Orinda, talked about the wildfire protection, the Contra Costa County fire. It's really serious, and they've got a great plan putting it together and getting the word out so that we can protect ourselves from all of that. I, too, attended the 40th anniversary of the CBCA and their barbecue. That was a great weekend up at Oakhurst Country Club. I've had several meetings with the County Connection, Art and Wine wrap-up. Car shows, we've had 3, and I want to make one comment. We've had several concerts in the meantime, but we had to cancel one on July 6th, and it was at least 107 out there, and we were not going to put our citizens, the band, the entertainers, the sound guys through that miserable heat and have to have the fire department standing by in case somebody did have some heat issues. So we counsel with Vice Mayor Tillman, I want to say it again, but Trupiano, and we were able to come to an agreement. And we haven't decided yet whether it'll go out at the end of this season at the final concert or move it to next year. To be determined. July 4th parade, incredible. And it was absolutely a great day. We had an excellent turnout. The people love it. And I just want to say thanks to Sandy Johnson, her team, and the other people that work on that committee for city-sponsored events. Excellent job. Last thing I want to mention is on August 6th, the chief and his department is going to be hosting the National Night Out up at the community park. So we're looking forward to that. It starts at 6, okay? And we're not going to have a council meeting that night, so we'll be looking forward to that and then coming back. Go ahead.
Before you conclude, I just want to remind everybody that we are back on again this Saturday for Concerts in the Grove.
Oh, yes.
And
okay, and I'm going to make a special, the 20th of July is dedicated to the memory of Bob Hoyer, our first mayor, who unfortunately did not make it to July 20th, but he was the one that wanted the swing band, and that's what we have coming in there on next Saturday. All right, that continues my report, and before I adjourn, I have to let you know, and I want to thank Councilmember Tillman, because she brought it to our attention in one of our closed sessions. But we lost a very long-term member of our community and one of the founding partners, if you will, of our library. And that was Jeannie Boyd, who passed away a week ago Monday. Although petite in stature, we recently lost a giant in our community as Jeannie Boyd, the president emeritus of the Clayton Library Foundation, unexpectedly passed away recently while on vacation with her family. She met her husband while they were skiing in Squaw Valley back in 1964, and they moved to San Francisco and ultimately to Dana Hills in 1971. And they're survived by their 3 children, Brooks, Kevin, and Lynn. Over 25 years ago, Jeannie Boyd had a vision for Clayton of as an active member of the Clayton American University of University Women. She saw Clayton having a library branch, which she and a couple of other people worked on very diligently, and now we have this building and this library that people use very effectively and it's an incredible use. You got to come down here during the week when they're open. There are people in there all the time reading newspapers, reading books, working on computers. It's a great facility for our community, and it's a good tribute to Jeannie Boyd's memory. She was predeceased by her husband, Don, and is survived by her 3 children and grandchildren, Emma, Nathaniel, Vivian, Phoebe, Nicholson, and Savannah. I know she is looking forward, or she was looking forward, to the 30th anniversary of the celebration of the library, and tonight we adjourn in her honor and memory and send our condolences to her family, friends, and community. And with that, we are adjourned to our next meeting, which will be not until, whenever it is, out there sometime. Yeah, August 20th. Thank you very much. Adjourned at 8:45. Another milestone.
A milestone.